Your liver might be sending out a cry for help without you even realizing it. No pain, no aches, no clear warning signs. But over time, the choices that seem healthy in your daily life may be silently building up fat in your liver, little by little. One day, the doctor tells you that you have fatty liver, and you don't even understand why. The truth is, fatty liver is becoming one of the most common and dangerous conditions in people over the age of 60. Even if you don't drink alcohol, are not overweight, and don't eat recklessly, you can still be a victim. Because eating less is not always better, not every vegetarian diet is healthy, and not all fruits are harmless to the liver. The very things that seem beneficial, if done the wrong way, can actually cause your liver to weaken faster than you think. Many older adults end up in the hospital not because of age itself, but because of backfiring eating habits that have worn down their liver over the years. It could be the usual breakfast, the habit of skipping meals when not hungry, or dishes that seem light but are a heavy burden on the liver. But don't worry, the liver has a remarkable trait: it can regenerate. Even if it's been damaged, even if it has accumulated fat, as long as you eat properly and follow the right eating behaviors, you can reverse that silent progression. You don't need expensive medication. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. Just a few critical changes to your eating habits can make all the difference. So the question is, are you making the same mistakes that 90% of people with fatty liver have made? And what are the golden rules that science has confirmed to help restore your liver in a natural and sustainable way? In the next few minutes, we will break down the most dangerous mistakes that people with fatty liver often don't realize they're making and explore smart diets that could be the leverage your liver needs to become stronger than ever. Let's discover them together. And if something in this makes you stop and reflect, don't hesitate to share it in the comments. Taking initiative today might be the greatest gift you can give yourself after 60. You know what? One of the biggest mistakes older adults make after being diagnosed with fatty liver is not that they don't care about their health, but that they become so worried that they follow the wrong diet. The very choices that seem healthy quietly cause the liver to become more and more exhausted. And the unfortunate truth is that many people continue these habits for years until the body begins to show signals that can no longer be ignored.
The first mistake: following a strict vegetarian diet, thinking it's healthy, but it turns out to be a dangerous trap for the liver. You may have heard, a vegetarian diet helps lighten the body, cleanse the liver, and is good for old age. But for those with fatty liver, a completely plant-based diet can have serious adverse effects. Why? The liver is the body's central metabolic organ, and it needs sufficient materials to synthesize lipoproteins, which help transport fat out of the liver. If you do not consume enough protein, especially protein from animal sources with a balanced ratio of essential amino acids, this process slows down, leading to greater fat accumulation in the liver. What's especially concerning is that many older adults follow vegetarian diets without scientific guidance, resulting in severe protein deficiency over a long period. The consequences? Fatigue, loss of muscle mass, and worst of all, the liver cannot flush out the excess fat that continues to build up. This is why you need to be cautious. Being vegetarian is not wrong, but following an unbalanced vegetarian diet is a double-edged sword for a liver that is already weakening.
The second mistake: skipping meals or eating irregularly as if punishing the liver. You might think, skipping one meal won't matter. I'm not even hungry. But your body, and especially your liver, doesn't think that way. When you skip meals or eat irregularly, your body is forced to break down fat to generate energy. This causes a sudden increase in free fatty acids in the blood, and of course, most of them go straight to the liver. When a surge of fatty acids floods in, the liver can't keep up, can't metabolize or eliminate them in time. What's the result? More fat accumulates, inflammation increases, and fatty liver disease worsens. Not to mention, older adults tend to stay up late, snack at night, drink milk late. These seemingly small habits disrupt the liver's biological rhythm. The liver doesn't get proper rest, and the consequence is a fatigued liver that is always in a state of working overtime without pay. The third mistake, a diet too high in fat, forcing the liver to swim in fat every single day. A slice of pork belly, a bowl of bone broth, a bit of crispy fried cake. They may seem nourishing, but for a fatty liver, they are sweet poisons. Most older adults with fatty liver have a very low threshold for fat metabolism. When consuming too much fat, especially saturated fat, the liver has to work twice as hard to break down, process, or eliminate it. What you need to understand is this. The liver doesn't just accumulate fat from sugar or alcohol, but fat from your meals is the raw material that forms visceral fat, including fat in the liver. Studies show that just an excess of 10 to 15 grams of inappropriate fat per day can lead to noticeable liver fat accumulation after just a few weeks. Especially for older adults with larger body weight, the safe fat intake limit is only 0.5 to 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. Anything more, and the liver begins to overload. The fourth mistake, eating strongly flavored spicy and salty foods that overstimulate the digestive system and the liver. Have you ever had a meal with spicy fried garlic, followed by a steaming bowl of soup full of pepper and ginger? For healthy individuals, it might just be a delicious meal. But for someone with fatty liver, this is a difficult equation. Spicy, hot, and strongly flavored foods not only stimulate the taste buds, but also provoke strong reactions from the liver and digestive system, often in a negative direction. The heat from chili, ginger, and pepper can increase appetite, causing you to eat more than your body needs. Meanwhile, a weakened liver has even more difficulty processing such a large volume of food. Coffee, onions, fresh garlic, ingredients that may seem beneficial, can also become liver irritants if used incorrectly or in excess. So remember, tasty food is not always healthy food. Choose mild and natural flavors so your liver can truly breathe. The final mistake, even a single drop of alcohol is too much for a fatty liver. Perhaps there's no need to say much, but this is something that always deserves to be emphasized. Even if you only drink alcohol on special occasions, even if it's just a small glass of wine, for a liver already affected by fat, that is a direct assault. Because more than 95% of the alcohol you consume is metabolized in the liver. And during that process, alcohol directly damages liver cells, breaks down antioxidant defenses, causes widespread inflammation, and gradually erodes liver function over time. The danger is that alcohol and fatty liver can combine into a pathological spiral that leads to alcoholic hepatitis, cirrhosis, and even liver cancer. And no amount of alcohol is considered safe once you have fatty liver disease. So don't wait until you feel a dull ache under your right rib cage or see dark-colored urine to stop drinking. Choosing to quit alcohol today is a gift you give to your future self. After identifying the habits that seem right but are wrong and silently wear down the liver day by day, it is time for us to look ahead. If you are asking yourself, so where should I start? Then this is your answer. Below are 5 golden dietary principles that anyone with fatty liver should apply immediately, not only to slow the progression of the disease, but also to create the conditions for the liver to recover, regenerate, and regain its natural function. And the wonderful thing is that these principles are easy to follow, requiring no medication or complex treatments. They begin right at your dining table every single day. Principle number 1. Prioritize high-quality protein to rebuild every liver cell. The first thing to understand clearly is this. The liver can regenerate itself if provided with the right building materials. And one of the most essential materials is protein. Many older adults, after being diagnosed with fatty liver, immediately cut back on meat, fearing that eating meat will burden the liver. But that is an outdated belief. The liver is not burdened by protein, but by excess fat and metabolic disorders. On the contrary, high-quality protein helps regenerate damaged liver cells, strengthen liver tissue structure, and enhance the body's immune function. So what is high-quality protein? It refers to protein sources that contain all essential amino acids, are easy to digest, and do not come with too much saturated fat. Ideal choices include fish, shrimp, lean white meat, soy products, tofu, and seafood. Note that for older adults, it is best not to consume too many eggs and whole milk, due to the risk of raising cholesterol and causing indigestion if not taken in the right amount. Balance is the key. Dividing protein intake into smaller portions and eating regularly throughout the day will help nourish the liver stably and gently. Principle number 2. Eat only until 80% full so the liver is not overworked. There is an old saying, eat to live, not live to eat. And for those with fatty liver, this holds especially true. In thousands of documented cases of fatty liver, a common factor often seen is eating too much or eating too full in one sitting. When you eat until your stomach is stuffed, the liver has to mobilize a range of enzymes and energy to process that massive amount of food. This not only exhausts the liver, but also increases the accumulation of visceral fat, which is the main culprit behind the development and worsening of fatty liver disease. The simple but effective solution is to eat just enough, about 80% full. How do you know you've reached 80%? Eat slowly, chew thoroughly, and listen to your body. When you feel satisfied, no longer hungry but not uncomfortably full, that's when you should put down your chopsticks. You don't need to restrict your portions harshly. Simply adjusting the way you eat can help lighten the liver's workload a little more each day. Principle number 3. Eat in the correct order, starting with vegetables, then protein, and ending with carbohydrates. This is not just an eating habit, but an effective strategy to control blood sugar and calorie intake. Eating vegetables first allows the digestive system to encounter fiber, which creates a sense of fullness and slows the absorption of sugar and fat. Next, adding protein helps maintain muscle mass and balance insulin levels. Carbohydrates come last, but not refined starches. Whole grains should be prioritized. This order also helps reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes, thereby decreasing fat accumulation in the liver. A study in Japan showed that patients who followed this exact eating order for 12 weeks had significant improvements in liver enzymes and liver fat indexes. Especially for older adults, organizing meals in this way also helps the digestive system function more smoothly, reducing bloating, heartburn, and constipation, which are common issues that increase with age. Principle number 4. Increase fiber intake to gently cleanse the liver. Fiber is not only good for the intestines, but also a powerful ally for the liver. When you eat fiber-rich foods, the absorption of sugar and fat into the bloodstream slows down, thereby reducing triglycerides and cholesterol, two factors that cause fat accumulation in the liver. At the same time, fiber supports the growth of a healthy gut microbiome, which modern science has shown to be directly linked to liver function. Fiber-rich foods are easy to find around you every day. Leafy greens, mushrooms, beans, oats, potatoes with skin, whole grains, and whole fruits, not juice. You don't need to eat a lot. Just ensure 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day, and this can make a positive difference for your liver within a few weeks to a few months. A small note. Increase fiber gradually and drink enough water at the same time to avoid bloating and indigestion. Principle number 5. Choose only low-sugar fruits to avoid adding extra burden to the liver from fructose. Fruit is very healthy, but not all types are suitable you have with fatty liver. The main issue lies in fructose, the natural sugar found in fruit. When consumed in excess, fructose is primarily metabolized in the liver. If it exceeds the acceptable threshold, it quickly turns into triglycerides and accumulates in the liver tissue. Therefore, Choose wisely. Oranges, tangerines, lemons, grapefruits, guavas, pears, and apples are low-sugar fruits rich in fiber and vitamin C, making them ideal for protecting the liver. In contrast, limit grapes, mangoes, durian, and overripe bananas, as they have high glycemic indexes and fructose content. A suitable amount is no more than 250 grams of fresh fruit per day, divided into 2 to 3 servings to avoid stressing the liver. And of course, strictly avoid sweet syrups, bottled fruit juices, and sugar-coated dried fruits, as these are the most dangerous hidden sources of fructose. Science doesn't lie, and our liver, though silent, is incredibly loyal and always reflects truthfully how we eat each day. You might be surprised to learn that some studies from the United States have shown nearly 30% of people over the age of 60 have signs of fatty liver without knowing it. Yes, completely unaware. It's as if you're walking around with a garbage bag inside your liver without anyone telling you. But don't panic. The good news is that every positive eating habit, no matter how small, can make a big difference if maintained consistently. The story begins in Japan, where a significant portion of people over 80 can still walk up mountains and down to the market thanks to an extremely smart traditional diet. They never eat until full. That's right, only about 80% full, so the body doesn't get overwhelmed after every meal. And they always eat vegetables first, protein next, and carbohydrates last. This is not a random habit, but has been scientifically proven to stabilize blood sugar, reduce fat storage in the liver, and give the liver space to breathe more easily. A study published in the Japanese Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that this eating order reduces the risk of fatty liver by up to 26% within 2 years, which is no small number if you're battling a belly full of visceral fat burden. Meanwhile, in the United States, scientists at Harvard conducted a study on the effectiveness of high-quality protein on liver function. The result? Older adults who followed a diet rich in protein from sources such as fish, soy, shrimp, and lean meat, while still controlling fat intake, showed significant improvements in liver enzymes after just 12 weeks. Their livers were like being oiled at the right time, cleaner, more flexible, and especially with less fat accumulation. Interestingly, the group that avoided protein or followed a completely vegetarian diet showed no positive changes, and in some cases, conditions even worsened. This shows that completely cutting out meat when dealing with fatty liver may not be the wisest decision. And in Australia, known for its nutrition philosophy based on whole foods, doctors at the University of Sydney conducted a study on fiber consumption in people over 60. They found that the group who consumed more whole grains, vegetables, legumes, and mushrooms, meaning a high-fiber diet, experienced a significant reduction in liver fat and cirrhosis risk. They called fiber the angelic broom that sweeps waste from the intestines and eases the liver's metabolic burden. And you know what? For every additional 10 grams of fiber consumed per day, the risk of fatty liver decreased by about 10%. That was the finding to over 1,200 participants. So adding half a cup of oats or a few more vegetables to each meal is already a way we can upgrade the liver without medication or expensive treatments. What makes me smile the most about these statistics is that no miracle is needed. Just changing the way you eat. A little like choosing low-sugar fruits instead of bottled juice, or having steamed eggs and vegetables for breakfast instead of sweet pastries, already gives your liver a chance to recover. And this is exactly what Dr. John Anderson at Mayo Clinic affirmed. The liver is the only organ in the body that can regenerate itself if we give it the opportunity. This means that if you ate the wrong way yesterday, starting again today is not too late. Every meal is a message you send to your liver, either saying I care about you or saying you're on your own. Among all the data, perhaps the most important thing is that we be honest with ourselves. How are you eating? Do you often skip breakfast, snack at midnight, or consume too many processed foods? No judgment is needed. What we need is a clear acknowledgement so we can change step by step. Maybe today you just swap a sugary drink for an apple or use less salt in your soup. Tomorrow, you eat more slowly and stop before feeling overly full. And gradually, these small changes will create a healthy rhythm within your body where the liver can sing again gently, strongly, healthfully. I know change is not easy, but if you're still watching up to this point, then maybe you're ready. Share with me in the comments below. Are you following any eating habits to protect your liver? Or do you have any questions about what you've just read? We are not alone on this journey. Millions of people around the world are making changes every day for a healthier liver, and you can be one of them starting with your very next meal. You know there are things in life we cannot choose, like our age or the days when our bodies no longer feel as strong. But we can choose how we treat our bodies each day, especially that silent and diligent liver. You may have once thought I'm too old to change, but the truth is that the body is always listening and always responding. Every time you choose vegetables over fried food, every meal you eat on time, every small and seemingly simple choice is a message of love sent to yourself. And the liver, with its remarkable ability to regenerate, is always ready to accept that opportunity, whether you are 60, 70, or even older. The story we share today is not just about eating. It is a reminder that you still hold the key to taking charge of your health. No harsh diets needed, no costly treatments. Just understanding and taking action. Eat enough, but not too much. Eat correctly, but not obsessively. Love your body without indulging it. That is how we live proactively, healthily, and more fully each day. If today you realize you've had some unhealthy habits, that's okay. What matters most is that you are here, listening, and willing to change. That is more courageous than anything else. And if you're walking this journey with me, feel free to share below what you think you're doing well and what you would like to improve in your eating habits. Your story might be the light for someone out there who's just beginning a similar path. Taking care of the liver is not the doctor's job. It is the choice we make 3 times a day in every single meal. Thank you for staying with me until now. Keep taking care of your health, not only for yourself, but also for those who love you. See you in the next videos where together we live healthy, live joyfully, and live meaningfully, one day at a time.